Hi, welcome back. This is Petri. Right now we're looking at a sketch. This is always fun to do. I also would like to say, first of all, thanks to all my subscribers. Anyone that's coming by for the first time, checking out my site or my channel here on YouTube. We have a um, interesting subject. It's alternation. So we're going to take a look at what alternation is in watercolor. It can be applied to all kinds of art, of course, acrylics, oils, pastels, in charcoal, pencil drawings, really anything. But here we're going to see how it works with watercolors in a compositional format. So here we have I sketched out some ideas on just a small cabin, maybe let's say, farmhouse or cabin, or um, kind of like an interesting structure, like in a farm setting or like in a country setting with trees and just some interesting subject matter, so that we can kind of see how alternation in tonal value works, how we can use it. And isn't that what's fun about watercolor? There's so many interesting techniques and things to apply to our art that it's just like almost never ending. There's always great, interesting things we can put into our artwork and our paintings, our watercolors, to make them more exciting and interesting and fun. So this sketch here, I just wanted to kind of get an idea of what I'm going to paint for this exercise, and then I did a little, after that, I did a quick little light pattern um, sketch. So I just put the light insignias, which is like a lamp with the light. So I always try to put those whenever I'm drawing and preparing for a painting or sketching. I'll try to put that insignia of a light with light shining, just to remember where the light pattern is coming from, or where the actual light is coming from, so that I can keep my shadows and um, light areas in a good organized fashion. So here, if the light's coming from this direction, obviously we're going to have shadows on the foreground with the trees and the shack. And then if the light's coming from this direction, obviously the shadows are going to be on the right side, and we'll have more light on the leaves of the trees, and we might have some shadows on top of the roof of the shack, and also some of the side of the shack and on the ground too, a little bit. So that's just a couple things I do before I paint, just to kind of get some ideas started, and then we'll go into our just a quick. I take a notepad and I jot down our subject matter today is alternation. Alternation. And then we're going to say the definition for alternation is alternation is varying the elements such as size, shape, color, tonal value, and texture. Okay, alternation is varying the elements such as size, shape, color, tonal value, and texture in our paintings. And today we're going to focus on tonal values. So we'll just highlight that a little bit. Tonal values, alternation in tonal value. Okay, so I'll do a quick contour drawing of similar to the sketch that I had. So I'm going to refer to this and just set this up across from me, across from my art table. And I'll just contour draw this, and this is more of a composition and exercise. So I'm not trying to be perfect about it. I'm just contour drawing it, and we have a path or something coming out here, and we have the front of this structure here, the shack, and the window, and some. And for this, we're going to say the light's going to come from the upper left hand side. So this will be the light side of the shack, and then over here it'll be a little more in shade. And we'll get a little more interesting here. Maybe we'll just do an interesting window on the inside of the shack. That's always an interesting thing to get depth in the painting and alternation. So this will be a key area of alternation of tonal value. And then as we draw our ground level, we have a tree shape here. So we'll just, and again, I'm going to I'm really going to go quick here. I'm just trying to, in this here, it's just basically, this is a small composition to work out some ideas on. Perhaps if this was going to be a finished painting, we would be working out these ideas, maybe a little more. We would try this 2 or 3 different times with different, maybe some different changes to the drawing, different colors. So we can always change things around in our practice work or our composition work before we do a finished painting and work things out. And this way, all right, so we have our basic shapes here. Maybe we'll have maybe a, that could be like a telephone or power line to the shack for an interesting shape in the middle ground here. And then maybe in the distance, just some shapes. Now this painting, I think what we'll do is maybe we'll work with light to dark. So we'll maybe put in the lighter tonal values first, and then we'll go through with the darker tonal values, and we'll let it dry in between. So to start off with, I'll take my palette here, and we have the typical colors here, and I'm just going to get some greens for the trees, some blue in here, some cerulean blue, some cad lemon yellow just to mix in with the greens, and maybe some cobalt blue. So I'm getting some paints on the palette, and this would be a little more water to the mixture, so it flows a little bit. Not too much water, but not too dry either, or just paint straight out of the tube. It's sort of an in-between mix. Not too much water, just enough to get some good tonal value on here. And since this is the first wash, we can add in some raw sienna. And then I'm mixing some more warmer tones, some golds, some raw sienna, And some cad lemon yellow just to warm up some of the areas here. And we'll okay, a little more blue here and there for this, just to for the sky kind of feel. Okay, so that's the first wash. That's so we're painting here in a light to darks. So we're doing our lights first, and this is really um, it's not too fussy. It's just let's get some color on here, and then we'll go in with the darks on top of this, and it'll make it the. And then we'll be able to really show the alternation patterns that we can create with tonal value that will be very interesting to make this much more of a exciting painting. Okay, so I'm going to take a break. It's a perfect time to get some fresh water into my bucket. I'm going to clean up the palette here. As you can see, there's a lot of paint flowing around. I'll take a paper towel and clean that up, and we'll come back and we'll be ready to paint our second wash, which will be the darker tonal values, the darker colors and tonal values of our painting. And then we'll, as we do that, we'll discuss how we're going to use alternation of tonal value to create a lot of excitement in this painting. Okay, we'll see you in just a few.